What's up, bullish friends? Hope you guys are doing well out there today. And as of yesterday, Horde put out an AMA, and they were talking about, number one, they paused the contract to basically put everything to a vote. So what they've asked us to do is at some point today, voting will open, and we'll be able to vote for a couple of options that are available for this protocol. Now, the AMA was really hard to listen to, and it was hard to follow along because they jumped around quite a bit. I did take notes, but I'm actually what I determined at the end is I'm just going to read through what they put in here because it's actually easier to follow than the notes I took, because they jumped around quite a bit, and it was, like I said, by the end of it, I was more confused than I was going into it. So I'm going to do my best to read this out to you guys. And, it's just what it is with Horde. So this is where we're at, but I wanted to get this update out. I've had a busy, 3 or 4 days in a row here, so I haven't been able to get back and make a video. So I wanted to get this out today because we're going to be able to go vote on this here soon. And, the sentiment so far has been pretty negative from most of the people reading through, as I read in through the Discord server. But I'm going to read this out anyway and see what you guys think. So they basically have come down to two options when they unpause the contract, and they basically state right out that option one is not going to be sustainable. I'm still going to read that out anyway. So before I read through all this up here, let's take a look at the options that they're putting forward. So option one would still need new investors for it to be sustainable. The price of the token would start at a range between 90 and 99 instead of I think it was at 96 to whatever 110 or whatever they had it up previously, and then it's dynamic, so it's going to basically drop down 10% every time it drops an additional 10%. So when it drops, then it drops into a new price range until I guess it goes down to nothing. And then it's, useless at that point. The tax, there's going to be a 30% tax on the sell. So, right now, most of the time you were getting hit with a 20% tax anyway after they did the last update. So it goes to a 30% sales tax. In this part, I didn't really understand. I'm going to read it anyway, but they say to continue to build out a DEX, trading bot vaults, and wasteland defense game with limited resources. So I understand that part, the DEX, the trading bot vault, and the wasteland defense, but I don't know this part with the plus 7.5% of total supply of Horde DEX tokens vested over a 12-month period once the DEX is launched. So it seems that is all for a future project that they're going to do that's going to bring revenue, but I don't know what this means. I don't know what the numbers are, so it's hard to say what that even means for us. And they mentioned this a couple times in here. They mentioned this in option 2 as well. They say, with option 1, this would essentially relaunch Horde at a lower rewards rate and a finite amount of money to control the price as the liquidity manager balance decreases. The token price does as well. While this is an option, a mass sell-off would drain the liquidity manager and tokens value would plummet. So basically showing there that's totally unsustainable and the project collapses. Okay. Option 2, all plot holder tokens, claimed, unclaimed, and future tokens from plots will be calculated based on a number of tokens you have associated with that wallet. You will get Horde Vault tokens. So I actually, during the MA, I took notes on this as well. And some of the things that were mentioned is, and I'm going to read all this to you, but no new investors would be needed for option 2. They were definitely steering everyone towards option 2. And you're going to be able to purchase the ZNFTs with your Horde tokens because they want to go into a model that basically rewards people with the ZNFTs. So basically using that as the revenue source and going completely away from plots. So basically we would be cashing in our plots to be able to buy these ZNFTs, and they're going to put some tokens aside for people who had the scene NFTs, like the like the cabin and all that. So let me read through this and you guys see what you think here if you didn't catch it. I'm also going to put a link to the AMA below. It's an hour long, but I'm just trying to put out a little condensed version for you here. And basically, let's see, these tokens represent the portion of your Horde tokens divided by the total liquidity. Once the vault tokens are calculated, you have two options. You can lock your vault tokens into a contract similar to that of the ZNFTs. This is a contract that will have several vaults with varying returns. Each month, 50% of returns will be airdropped to Horde vault token holders. The remaining 50% yield will be split 15% to the Horde pool, covering development of future vaults and maintenance of the system. The final 35% being compounded, generating more revenue for each period. 2, you can choose to liquidate your Horde vault tokens. If you would simply like to take your portion of the remaining liquidity, choose option 2. You would receive the BUSD value of the portion of the liquidity that your Horde tokens represented minus 20%. This 20% will be compounded into the Horde vault. Liquidating your tokens removes you from the protocol, and no DEX tokens will be airdropped to those that choose this option. So you're basically, if you choose option 2, if you choose this option, you're just getting out of the system. And this is all under option 2. Okay, so if we go this route, this will be one of the things that is unlocked that you're able to take advantage of if you want to go that route. Let's see here. The vaults being made are unique and are self-sustaining. They are designed to produce returns without constantly needing new funds to sustain them. By compounding a portion of the rewards each month, the value of your vault tokens goes up over time, as do the payouts. The vault's progress will be visible by a dashboard in the D app. Many vaults will be created of differing sizes and strategies offering different yields. New Horde Vault tokens will be available at market value, with 100% of the value directed towards new and existing Vault strategies. Horde will depreciate the Horde liquidity manager and plots. The LM requires constant cash injections to absorb the emissions. The new model will not have this, so it's no longer necessary. We can continue to build out liquidity managers as part of our LMS service. This option would also see a distribution of 15% the Horde DEX tokens. 10% of a person's allocation would be airdropped over the period of 6 months from the launch of the DEX. The remaining would be airdropped in batches after 12 months of the DEX being live. As always, the Horde team is dedicated to... Okay, I'm not going to read all that. You guys know all that stuff. So basically, it's... they're pushing for option 2 because, the project's totally done. If this first option gets picked by everyone. So, and it sounded to me, I was reading through a lot of the inside of here, inside of the chat room here. A lot of people were saying they were definitely going for option 2. I know some people were saying, option 1, they just want out. So I'm not going to steer anyone in any way. I'm pretty disappointed overall in the project. It's been one that, I didn't throw a fortune in here, so it's all good. But it's just another kind of downer in DeFi and in crypto in general recently. But mainly DeFi. DeFi's been on a tear recently, just dropping to the pitch. There's been a lot of crazy going on. But yeah, this isn't great news for Horde. And, during the AMA, they mentioned that, a lot of trust was lost. Once they did the last update where they basically did the infection and mutation of plots, and were only letting us go at half the rate if you decided to take to take anything out. And, rightfully they mentioned that hurt the program overall, and it killed a lot of trust. And as I've mentioned before in past videos, once you lose that trust, and you're going to lose the new investors, they don't want to come on board anymore. And that's what I think happened overall with this project. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. I know again, everything is not crystal clear here. The one thing I will say, they did point out here, which this was above all that, and I want to read this too, that if you do, so on option 2, if you do want to buy into the Z NFTs, they're going to be $400, which is equivalent to 4 Horde tokens. And then 2 of the tokens are used for that purchase, and then the remaining are sent to the rewards pool and effectively burnt. So that's the plan going forward with that. And then it says they also, for each Z NFT minted with Horde, an extra $40 goes into the Z NFT trading pool from each Z NFT compared to standard BUSD minting. Neither the Horde pool nor charity will receive funding from Z NFTs minted with Horde token during the voting window. And the voting window takes place today, and I believe during the AMA, I think Tommy mentioned it would go for 7 days to allow people time to come in and vote. So you have to do that through the Discord server too. So, today's is 11:10. So that's just where we're at. So it sounds to me like they're going to do this and allow voting to go on for several days here so people can come in and vote for what they want to do. Anyway, guys, wish I had better news on Horde. I just wanted to share that because it was the most recent update. Let me know what you guys think below. And let's go from there, guys. Anyway, appreciate you. Love you. And stay safe out there.